Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the SempreMilan podcast. I'm your host, Ollie Fisher, joined once again by Madison.
Yeah, I took last week off, and I'm back. And AJ is gone. He's a little salty
What's up,
when I
guys?
go
Glad
second.
to be back.
Now you're hosting, you're in the middle. Musical chairs in here.
And we have AJ.
Saw, dude. Yep, I'm here. Got 2 wins to preview or to cover. Probably 2 L's to preview. But yeah, we're back on the wagon, so it'll be nice to see the views tick back up. Someone wants to watch what we lose.
Yeah, my brother goes, "Hey, how many views does your podcast get?" And I'm looking, I'm like, "Ooh, I'll go. It hasn't been very good. We've been losing a lot of games."
It's been a tough slog this season. That's why we really appreciate it if you're listening to this. Although maybe if you tuned out for a few weeks and you're listening in now, we've got a couple of wins to recap. Then glory supporting in it, but
Yeah, and stay. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, please do. We suffer together. That's the whole point of this thing. But yeah, as I just said, we've got 4 games to cover. There's a lot going on. From the November break, which is obviously finished now, to the end of the year, we have like 7 games, and we play every weekend and midweek up until the end of the year. So that is kind of mad. We play on a Saturday. You got the post game on Sunday, and then we're already at a pre-game day today, which is Monday. We play tomorrow night, so the games are coming thick and fast. Plenty to talk about. Before we dive into the episode, thank you to all of our Substack founding members: Des Windsor McGlynn, Tito, Matt Morris, Pullman, Joey Gawler, Kemin, Mats, Luke Villano, Raul Escobar, Rajat, Carlo Fassi, Nasser Merlin, Finker, Derek Favretto, Hevanly 13, Mike Schulz, JT Physio, Tarek, Marco Valleja, and Roberto Racinos. I stood there because we've lost MJ. MJ's gone.
MJ, come back. We need you. We need you,
MJ decided to beat it, you could say.
Yeah, because that's how bad the results have been. He's like, I'm not playing for this.
Come back, MJ, please. But to all those 19 who've stayed with us, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Over on the Substack, just to give you a little taster of what you can expect in a usual weekly cycle, and you can try a week for free, and the holidays are coming up, so gift yourself a subscription, or if you know a Milan fan, I don't know why you'd be listening to this if you're not one already, but if you know one, gift them a subscription. You can do that. It's the time for giving. The pub chat that came out over the weekend from Lorenzo and Stefano was a bit of a sit rep on Milan's season so far. Obviously, the highs and lows, the results, what the upcoming schedule looks like, and more importantly, if we can get ourselves back competing for the major objectives. League, Champions League, we've got a cup to talk about, and the Super Cup early in January. Me and Isaac did the bonus on Friday. With you two having your Thanksgiving celebrations. Hope they went well, by the way. Hope thanks was given. And by thanks, I mean turkey, beer, and whatever else.
In this house, we made Cornish game hens. It's pretty good.
Cornish?
Yeah, it was nice. It was easy.
I actually have some of those in the freezer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, gonna put them on the smoker at some point.
Nice. Very good.
Good stuff. We discussed all the players that we've got out on loan who left during the summer window. All on loan plus Daniel Maldini. So there was Adli, Kalulu, De Ketelaere, and Daniel Maldini. And we also spoke about Simic as well. The decisions to let them leave and if we might have any regrets. I did an audio bulletin, which was 13 minutes of me talking about the midfield situation, how the combinations look at the moment, who we could sign in January. Picked out one name that I thought that we should definitely go for, and then potentially signing Samuel Ricky next summer. Isaac's bonus article was about if we can expect Milan to spend in the January transfer window, looking at previous under the American ownerships, and the gaps in the squad that exist and whether we should go out and address those. And then Lorenzo also did something where he met Gabriele Castelli, who is the man behind Memoria Milan, which is like the largest, I believe it's the largest individual collection of Milan memorabilia that exists anywhere. He's got like shirts from the 1960s. He's got gifts that Berlusconi gave out on his first day in 1986. He's got replica cups, match worn stuff. It's crazy the collection that he has. Go check that out. He shows some of it off. Right, let's go. Slovan Bratislava, the champions. That was so good that I think we might get a copyright strike on that. It was too close to the original. So we expected a
Oh.
comfortable win here. Slovan Bratislava, coming into this game, had lost all 4 of their Champions League fixtures, conceding 15 goals in the process and scoring only twice. And they had lost 4-1 to Dinamo Zagreb in their previous game. They'd lost 5-1 to Celtic in their opener. They were the whipping boys of the competition, basically. Wow, we were made to work hard for this one. It didn't look like
And they are no longer bottom of the table thanks to Milan's defense.
Oh, is that right?
Really?
Yep,
climbed
they're
off
second
bottom
bottom.
Who won it? Who's bottom now? Who got their goal difference battered?
The young boys.
Young
Yeah,
boys.
Atalanta put 6 past them, so that'll be it. And CDK got 5 goal contributions in one game. It's the first time a player playing in Italy has ever done it, which is mad.
They're minus 15, and Bratislava is minus 14. So it's only by 1 goal. It's not like,
Well, we let them score 2, so
We did.
they
We
would
let
be
them double
bottom.
their goals.
Yeah.
We let them go double their goals scored, which is what we do. Where do we go with this? Let's go with there's 5 goals to talk about, and I actually think this was quite an entertaining spectacle. I didn't cover this one for the site. I was watching it from a pub near where Leyton Orient play, or as AJ calls them, the Dragon Seahorses.
The Red Dragon Seahorses.
Red Dragon Seahorses, where Huddersfield got a 2-0 W. But I was watching it in a pub before the game, which was good, and I was ripping my hair out because it was terrible. I'm surrounded by people, Huddersfield fans, who are like, "Oh, what are Milan like?" They're on the TV. We can finally see. I'm like, this is embarrassing. They're having to work really fucking hard to beat the worst team in the competition, or second worst. The team then for this one, I was surprised that he changed from the team that had kept the clean sheet against Juve. The thing that, and I say this because we're going to talk about the Empoli game and what worked again to keep a clean sheet in that game, but Musa on the right, basically. Or do you think it was right to go with a more attacking lineup so that we could, try and take the game to a team that are not very good?
Well, if it was an attacking lineup, it didn't really show like it was attacking till Leao came on in the second half. So,
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't remember a whole lot from this game. I can't pinpoint any of the goals. I just had so much going on this week. It's been pushed out of the brain. But I do remember Leao came on at halftime, using that halftime free slot, something that we've criticized Fonseca for in the past, not using. It was nice to see him recognize, okay, what we're doing isn't enough. We need a little more. We shouldn't need Leao to beat Slovan Bratislava, but we did. But yeah,
I remember on their first goal, we had a really high back line, and they just counterattacked and boom. And an Armenian scored. So I'm not that disappointed about it because it's nice to see Armenians get some recognition, but no one knew he was an Armenian. So except for
you know his name without looking right now.
I don't know how to say it.
There you go. So
yeah,
that Armenian pride strong with you.
Tigran
Barsagian. Yeah, there we go.
Barsagian, maybe, yeah.
Barsagian.
I think he'd been their top goal scorer or like top for goal contributions. Quite a big, stocky winger, but yeah, he did look the main threat. Like until Pulisic scored, it just felt like we were trying, we were probing, and it might be a matter of time. But there wasn't a lot of quality possession, let's put it that way. But then when Pulisic gets that goal, we managed to part the defence. He goes through. It was good work from Tammy in the hold-up. He evades a tackle and then puts Pulisic through on goal, who finishes it nicely. I thought he'd scuffed it, but he side-footed it into the ground and that gave it the spin around the keeper. So that was a nice finish. And then you think, brilliant, we've got the game where we want it. We've got a lead. Midway point in the first half against a team that now have to come out and chase the game against us. We conceded after less than 3 minutes after scoring the opener and from our corner. I just thought this was
that
all
was
a
the
bit
one that
unforgivable.
Madison was talking about, right? Where our back line was like halfway inside our own half, so they just had to keep a guy on the halfway line, and then they were fine. Kind of ridiculous.
Game management 101. Like, you've just got a goal up in the game. I respect and I actually, I'm happy that we're going for the second goal to try and kill it off as early as possible. Whenever you can manage your minutes, it's a good idea to do so. But also just a bit of common sense. You don't need all but one player. Sorry, it might have been all but 2 players up for an attacking set piece. You just don't. When you've got the lead, you can afford to leave an extra man back, or that man doesn't have to be Reinders. Like, it seems to be Reinders every time. And he ain't the quickest. Even though he's a silky dribbler and we've seen what he can do with the 2 goals he scored in the game we're going to come on to, but he isn't rapid. And when the players passed him, they're gone. We saw that with the Lovric, the Udinese game, when he brought him down. It was a similar situation where it's like out of nowhere. Oh, they threw 1 goal. And it has to be Reinders who's the last man. He didn't bring him down this time. Bas Seguian scored. It was a nice finish. But there it's 1-1. And it remained 1-1 until minute 68. So that was a bit of a worry. It was another 44 minutes until we were able to retake the lead. And it came from Rafa. And I think this is exactly why he was brought on, to make those sort of direct runs, to stretch the defence, to try and ask more questions than what Okafor had done in his 45 minutes. But Fofana for this one played a gorgeous through ball. And we've seen that link up. We've seen that link up blossoming now. Reinders is sort of who we think of as the creator and the passer, but Fofana can play a through ball, man. Like, I'm enjoying seeing that. And he did well to get himself in the position to play that ball as well. He sort of navigated out of the counter press and pinged it through. And then Tammy scores 3 minutes after that, and you're thinking, that's it, job done. Maybe we can actually go 4-5-1 here and make it look a bit more convincing than it actually was. Then came I don't remember Abraham's goal, but I feel like it was a really bad mistake from them. Did they give it?
I think both of our second half goals were just kind of like sloppy on their part. Tammy's was the goalie played it out of the back, and I think we intercepted it immediately.
That's it. That's right. Yeah. I thought it was something like that. So that one was a bit more fortunate, but still, you take that. He finished it. Good for his confidence. He'd gone a bit of time without scoring. And then straight after that, we made a triple sub, and on came Emerson, Loftus-Cheek, and Musa. Now, the players that came off were Calabria. He hadn't been brilliant, I'll be honest. Pulisic, Fofana. So that's that. With the way things are, with the form and with the quality of the players taken into account, you're weakening your team there. But I don't mind it. I would have shouted if we hadn't made changes at 3-1 up, because you should have the game iced then, really.
Yeah.
So that's when you do bring in the backups so that the starters can get a bit of rest. But things just slowly started to unfurl a bit from there. Tomori got a yellow card for a pretty sloppy challenge. And then they scored in the 88th minute. Nino Marcelli, the supposed 19-year-old, rough paper round for a 19-year-old. He looks a lot older than that. Barsegian got an assist for that as well. But yeah, a rocket of a shot into the top corner, kind of out of nowhere, really. Maignan couldn't do much about it. But that made it a nervy finish until Marko Tolic decided to shout at the ref multiple times and get a red card.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see a red card like that where you just get carded and then you decide to yell at the ref. He gives you a very clear warning, like, relax, chill out. And you just continue knowing that you just got the yellow and now you're immediately sent off. It's like you made a small challenge that you obviously didn't feel was even worthy of a yellow card, and you made it a sending off. So look, we're not immune to that either. We've seen all of our players do that. So, but you got to keep your head. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, you do.
No, you can't, because like for Slovan Bratislava, they're not their head coach admitted before the game, we're not going to go through. Like, we're going to finish near the bottom, but what we'd like before the 8 games is done is to have given a real scare to a top team. They did. They gave us. I don't even think we're a top team, like they've played Man City and stuff, but they gave us a scare. So you could say mission.
We are above Man City in the table.
I know. Yeah,
and PSG, and Juve,
we're
and
the greatest
Madrid.
team ever. So
we are.
I think we're really good. I think we're really, really good.
But Lille and Brest and Monaco are all above us. So hindsight's 20/20.
Don't mind Brest's being.
Question: how does Brest are great? How does the drop down work? Do teams go to Europa League in this new format?
That's gone. That's gone now.
Okay, so it's not the losers of the playoff round.
Nope, I don't believe so. I think once you're out, you're out. Could be wrong, maybe. But then the Europa League have their own playoff round, so I don't know what point those teams would come in. Like every competition has the same structure of 1 to 8 and then the middle 16. So I think that's better as well, because one of the things that pissed me off about the Europa League was you can't predict the winner once the draw's done, because you don't know who's going to drop in, who's obviously going to be better than the teams that are in it, or usually anyway. Also, one thing I will say is that 3-1 defeat at home to Liverpool in the first game kind of looks flatter the more time goes on, because they are an absolute machine at the moment.
They're monsters.
Taking the lead against Liverpool is our number 8. So then that was it, full time. One thing I will say before we do tops and flops, we've now seen 5 Champions League games. We've got 3 to go against Red Star, Girona, Dinamo Zagreb. We're on course to finish in the top 8, which is great. We'll get 30 mil plus revenues from that, 50 mil plus total. Hopefully then we get a preferable draw in the last 16 and just see what we do from there. Can't count our chickens. We still got to win those remaining games. I think Red Star will be tougher than people think, but whatever.
I did predict an L for Red Star.
They look good when I saw them. They put 5 past Stuttgart, I think it was.
Yeah.
There's
right? A good chance. I'm looking at it now. The PSG don't even make it.
They're
currently
that'd be
outside
phenomenal.
Of it. And they play City. I just lost.
Who's their manager? Is it
Luis Enrique?
Luis Enrique still?
Yeah. I think he must be on the edge
entirely. So I don't know where this
on the
went.
edge. Thing with PSG is that they're doing the same thing that they always do, where like the league is a piece of cake for them, but as soon as it comes to European competition, there's just something that's not quite right about them. The teams that they've managed to assemble, they're 7 clear at the top of Liga. They're in a position where they can just focus on getting through in the Champions League, and yet they keep having these bad results. And I think the team are under fire there. But yeah, what I was going to finish with before we're looking at remaining games and stuff is that there's still only one game that we've played out of the 5 where I'm like, all right, that was good. And that was the Real Madrid one. The rest of them, I think we've shown bad spells. Liverpool, we got dominated by. Leverkusen, people were happy with the second half, but, I thought we lost and didn't score, so you can't celebrate it. The Club Brugge one, they equalised with 10 men. Not good. A better team might have put us away there. And then most recently, this one, you can see twice to the worst team, and it's a 1-goal win and stuff. It just didn't... You don't want to sound arrogant, because a win's a win. You bank it, you move on, but, like, got to beat them a bit more convincingly to get us all like, yeah, we can go deep in this thing. And we just haven't seen that yet. We've kind of stuttered our way to 3 wins, but we'll take it.
I do want to add about PSG. They have not had an easy Champions League draw.
No,
there's at their games. It's like they're playing like all the top half teams. I mean, except for
they have 2 teams below them,
but
even though they're not going to be easy. They have Salzburg, Stuttgart, and Man City. They could potentially lose all 3, or they could win all 3. You never know.
Right.
That stinks of 4 points, and that wouldn't be enough.
No.
And then
they play Arsenal, Munich, Atletico, and who was the other one? PSV. Those are not easy games.
Oh.
Yeah, if we got that draw, I think we're on 4 points.
I think everyone watching our draw was a little annoyed at first, because it started with Liverpool, Real Madrid, and we're like, okay, yeah, we're out. And then all of a sudden it got fairly easy as the draw went on.
Yeah, because we beat Madrid.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the draw before the games even started.
Yeah.
And then the way the games played out, it was like, okay, yeah, we lost to, a team we thought we might be able to beat in Leverkusen, and we lost to Liverpool, who we thought was a throwaway game. Then we beat Madrid, who are the defending champions, and all of a sudden we're like, yeah, we could do this. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think we might finish top 8.
There was a thing that Gazzetta did, and it came through the Opta supercomputer or whatever. But basically, they ran something like 50,000 simulations of the rest of the league phase. Yeah, and we already have enough points. Almost certainly, I think it's 98%. We have enough points to get into the playoffs already. Which is good. We could lose our remaining games and still probably carry on in the competition. But it looks like 2 wins and a draw would be enough to virtually guarantee that we get into the top 8. So, all of a sudden, 3 wins, which it should be on paper, it should be 3 wins. Then it's like, are we going to finish 4th or something? which out of a 36-team league would be kind of mad for us to be there. And
especially when we're in 7th out of a 20-team league right now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, higher in the worst league.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
definitely
Man.
interesting because before the season started, we all predicted that we'll go through, but we all said in that playoff round. Like I don't think anyone said we'd finish top 8.
Yeah, and really, should we
This
have
Champions League has been wild because like the top teams have been struggling.
It's
But like
the
that's
amount of
what
games,
you
it's the
want.
format. I love it. I really
I
do
love it.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I am
because
enjoying it more than I thought I would.
previously the top teams just easy go through, no trouble, right? But now it's like, Man City, you're in like 12th place, man. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Not 12th.
You could before
But
predict kind of
17th.
how every group was going to finish the top 2 teams on day 1, and probably have about an 80% accuracy in doing it. It was pretty straightforward. But now every team, like just the difference of playing the same team twice every time, you go, okay, that's 2 losses, that's 2 wins, that's a draw. Like now you don't know, and because it's every team plays different, like very few people are sitting there and doing the math of like, okay, we need this many points, but then you're like, oh well, this team plays these ones. I have to find out how those results go, and it takes a lot of like the math out of it because you're just not going to sit there and figure it out. At least I'm not. That's why you
unless
have
you're the
those
Opta computer, right?
Yeah,
That's why we've got
Best all the time in the world.
quantum computing.
Yeah, which is great because now you look at it and go, yeah, I don't know where we're going to finish, but I think we're doing well. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It adds another layer to it that we've been missing.
I know I said this before, but I just can't wait for those final 2 games. Where there's like 1 point separating 5 teams trying to get into the playoffs. I think that's going to be fantastic to see the table updating live in real time. Whereas
it's going to be like
Lazo show is going to be so fun.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like the final day of the league where teams are trying to stay up in the league, right? And fighting against relegation.
But potentially more intense because it's going to be more compact. There's more teams in the league. It could be really, really entertaining because how many times do you go into that last group stage game and everything's already resolved? Not us last year because we were in the group of death, but so many times it's just already resolved. And I'm enjoying the playing different teams thing as well rather than home away. There's a bit more variety. And it does matter if you get a team at home versus away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like us going to Real Madrid, brilliant. Park that. I don't want to play them at San Siro. I'll happily keep that there.
I think it also gives like fans, like AC Milan fans, a chance to see teams who we never play ever, right? And so and those teams a chance to play at Milan or have those fans have Milan come and visit. So,
well, you look at a team
puts, more
like
teams on the map, I guess.
Yeah, Bratislava, who's never played in the Champions League before, this is their first time, and now they got to go to Celtic, which is a huge game. They got to host Man City, which is crazy. They got to go to Spain against Girona, whatever. Then Dinamo Zagreb, okay, fine, but then Milan, like. They have huge teams, Atletico, Stuttgart, Bayern. Like, yeah, they're not winning that shit, but for their fans, for the local
that's awesome.
Support, hosting those huge teams, that's incredible.
Big for the big for their accounts as well, moving forward. Like huge money involved. Right, let's do tops and flops and bookmark this one then. Top for me, I'll go something a bit different. I thought Tammy was really, really good in this game. I thought he showed us a lot of what we've been missing with Morata not being as good. He just focused on doing the simple things right. He held the ball up very well, created the opening goal, and then obviously scored one as well. So 2 goal contributions for him. I'm going to guess he'll start tomorrow's cup game. So it'd be good if we can sort of get both forwards firing so we can effectively rotate them. But for now, not jumping for joy just yet. I thought this was a really good game from him.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't really remember a whole lot of the game, but Tammy did have a goal and assist. His goal was a bit fluky, but also, right place, right time. You got a big part of a striker's game is knowing where to be, and
Morata would be at left back for that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, would have.
So, and if Morata was at left back, then it's 2-2. So you could argue he was the guy that won the game. I mean, he did. He got the winning goal. So yeah, I'll give it to Tammy.
I'm gonna be an American and give it to Pulisic because he broke the 0-0 deadlock. So
okay.
Yeah, I thought somebody would pick Leao because he gave us a lot off the bench, and he was the one who provided the spark to get us, the 2 goals and then eventually win. But good stuff. Flop for me, Calabria looked really, really rusty. I think there are actually a few candidates you could pick for this where it just didn't seem to click for them. Chukwueze maybe another, but I'll go with Calabria. And it isn't me saying awful, sell him immediately, because he's been out for a long time, and I think we're going to have to expect a few rusty starts from him.
We can't sell him if he's going to leave for free this summer. So
well, yeah, I'll sell him in January for 30 quid.
Yeah, I'll probably go Chukwueze. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't remember much from this game. Too much has happened since then, so I feel bad even picking a flop. But I think he had a couple of shots that were just way off, and that's literally the only thing I could remember from him. So, and I could be wrong on that. So honestly, if I just abstain, that's better.
Yeah,
I feel like this is an easy, like a cop out. But Fonseca, he didn't start Leao, which I think was a big mistake. And then in the 75th minute, he subbed out like the spine of our team, and I think that game management was just awful.
Move on. Anyway, 3 wins in a row in the Champions League. That's good. Back home to San Siro for a game on Saturday evening against Empoli, Empoli are doing all right. Last year they stayed up by 1 point, and it went all the way down to the wire. And this season they're much more comfortable. They came into the game in 10th. I don't know where they are now. They've probably dropped a little bit, but they have had a very good. Are they still there? I think the 4th best defense in the league coming into this game. They were struggling to score goals, but they were keeping in games. They were keeping them tight, and I expected a very, very tough match against these. I thought they'd come and play 3-5-2, which we know would actually be a 5-4-1. They'd try and make it as long as possible until we started to create anything. And I think this is the importance of this. In fact, let's start with the selection. He reverted back to the Real Madrid and the Juve thing with Musa playing on the right. On paper, on the right of the attacking 3, but in principle, it ended up being like another back 5 off the ball, and then him sort of tucking into midfield in possession. It was a bit of a hybrid role sort of thing. But I thought he got the team selection spot on for this one. Even the centre-back pairing, I think he played the hot hand in Gabia and Chow. Those 2 have been the best, and then the rest is like...
I don't know. I mean, I don't really like the idea of Moose on the wing. I know, obviously, like you said, it's a back 5 in reality. I don't know. I feel like you don't need to give Empoli that level of respect. Like, they have the 2nd worst offense in the league. They've scored 10 goals all season. Yeah, they've avoided keeping them out, but our attack is so good that that's gonna cancel each other out in our favor. And I mean, obviously, I'm wrong, right? We scored 3 goals, but I feel like you don't have to nerf your attack when your attack is so much better than their decent defense. I think we would have been fine, but like I said, 3-0 win. So I guess I don't have to point too much.
I mean, you could say that we don't need to give him that level of respect, but we drew Cagliari 3-3. So
yeah, fair enough.
We've shown that we can really, really blow these games, And Fonseca basically, he explained, he told us what he was going to pick in his pre-match press conference, where someone asked him, "Are you going to play Musa on the right again?" And then he basically said, "Yeah, that's a solution that we have." And then before the game, after he named the team, sort of got asked, "What are you going to do?" And he said, "Musa's going to play more on the defensive line because they attack with 5 when they come forward, and we want to be man to man." And it seemed to work. Like, we weren't impenetrable defensively. They still had a couple of moments, but it was a good defensive performance. But I think you're right, AJ. Like, I painted that in a wrong way, because on the night before the game, when the news came out that Musa was starting right wing, I lost my shit, as I think we all did. Like, we don't need to do this. They're not that good.
Exactly.
And then it's more like you reflect after the game, and it's like, okay, I kind of see what was going on there. It gave us a bit more stability, and
it's much
in games
easier
like that
to agree with the chosen lineup after the game has been 1-3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, all right, maybe he knew what he was doing.
But then it sort of rewires your brain in a way that I'm like, all right, we've thrown away points with with our terrible defending, but we've proven we can score pretty much no matter what, the Juve game being an aside to that. So, like, if you can control the one thing by making yourself more solid at the back, we should take care of itself at the other end. Clean sheet win is what we all asked for and wanted and said we needed, and we got one, so that's good.
Is it the only game this season that we haven't scored?
Bayer Leverkusen.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, in the league though, I think it probably would be. Yeah.
Napoli lost.
Oh, Napoli, of course. Yeah. Because we went back-to-back home league games without scoring for the first time in ages. So yeah, it was job done. That's the best way to say it. It requires a goal to be scored in the first half for it to feel like plain sailing, obviously, because the longer that time goes on, the more that you're worried, are we going to be able to unpick this defense? But we generate a lot of pressure. I think we actually played very well in the first half in this game. And we didn't just do the thing that we did against Slovan where we got it wide and whacked crosses in. Although the first goal comes because of a ball that comes in and a shot that's blocked and it spins into the path of Morata, who tucks it away. Alvaro, if you're listening, that's what happens when you stay in the box. Sometimes the ball's going to drop to you and you can put it in. You can score. It's brilliant. This thing called a goal. You should try scoring more of them. No, on a serious note, criticised him a fair bit, but that was his first goal in the league in 2 months. So it'd been a long time coming, without a doubt. And it was a nice instinctive finish. I think that's exactly what you hope for. It was a Giroud-esque goal to me. Like, it falls and he puts
He's
it
a
away.
Giroud-esque player, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and then we get the second just before the break as the fog descended on San Siro. It was kind of mad. Like, some of the pictures outside from before the game were showing it to be very foggy, but you think it ain't going to creep into the stadium in quite the same way. And yet it did. Now, whether it's because the fog genuinely got in or whether it was supporters letting off flares and stuff and then the smoke stays in because the air's so cold and it's dense and whatnot. But it was just before Reinders made it 2-0, basically unwatchable.
Yeah, it's funny
on
because
TV.
I was saying, I don't remember anything that happened from the Bratislava game. Watched every moment of this game, and I also don't know what happened because of the smoke. I mean, both of Reiner's goals came in moments of very heavy fog from the side of the field that was extremely covered. So couldn't really see a whole lot. I know there was like kind of on his first goal, so the second goal of the game, someone put in a cross and it landed. It didn't land, but it came to Pulisic,
Morata.
who like got a header with the other player, and it looked like they both hit it equally right to Reinders. Pulisic was credited with the assist, so that's awesome. But I don't know if it was entirely his or if it was just like a coming together of both players.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day, I don't care. We scored and
Guess
we won.
we'll never know.
Yeah, I guess
Can't look at the footage for this one.
Pad those stats.
Yeah, I went back and watched the highlights afterwards, and even then, I still was like, I don't know what's going on in the fog.
Game like this.
Yeah, it was very difficult. Tough viewing, but
do you know what the mad thing is as well? Like, some people might not be aware, but like the advertising boards that you see inside the stadium are not what's being so they superimpose them over. So on the fog, but the advertising boards, for me anyway, were still just as bright as before.
Yeah,
the players were getting lost in them and like going silhouette, and then I was like,
which actually helped.
This is ridiculous.
It helped me see where the players were, and so I had family here. My brother-in-law who doesn't watch soccer, he's like, why do they look like that in front of the ads? The ad's not real. It's not there. It's a green screen.
It's the Matrix.
And he's like, why would they do that? And I was like, they're advertising the people on TV. It's different in each location. I had to explain it all. And I was like, let me watch the fucking game, pal. Like, what are we doing?
I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised.
Why are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was rough.
Leave me alone. I'm surprised Empoli didn't kick off big time when that second goal went in. Vasquez should have just come running out the goal and be like, I didn't even see it. What's going on here? But
I was surprised they didn't I don't know, suspend the game, delay it a little bit. Because it really
after the whole Bologna fiasco, they were probably like, we better play this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like 20 minutes in. It was probably around the time of the second goal. I was like, you can't see the ball, and I don't know how low the fog was. Like, was it just camera level and it was more visible on field, or was it right there in them? And towards the end of the game, like maybe 75th minute, it started to clear up a little bit. So I was like, okay, fine. But at that point, it was 3-0. It was too late to do anything. And it just seemed like every one of our goals, the fog played a role in, which, like, I'm not going to complain about it, but Empoli probably feels pretty hard done by it.
Yeah, unless it really was fine at that lower level, I don't know. It can sometimes be that way. That, as you say, it's like a certain height, but whatever. Reinders continues good form, nice goal, and then he got the third one too. This was a brilliant move. Picks up possession, dribbles with it. Lovely precision strike, bottom corner. Leao does very good work for this goal with a decoy run. He sort of runs on a diagonal across and he draws a man over just enough for him to be like, who am I going for here? And then Reinders, has a free shot from the edge of the box to make it 3-0. We had chances. We certainly had chances to make it an even wider margin of victory. Pulisic got the assist, as you say, stats are stats. But I don't think this was one of his better games. There were a couple of opportunities where he should have squared it and didn't. And, if we're going in at halftime 3-0 up, then you start talking about it being a bloodbath. Can't complain too much. We still won comfortably, but some of the decision making wasn't brilliant. But
I feel like that kind of extends to everyone, right? Like, obviously, Pulisic's the one that you point to because he had that opportunity early, like 10, 15 minutes in, where he could have squared it to Reinders, could have squared it to Leao, instead took a shot. And I think it went out for a corner, but he wasn't the only one who did that. Like, Leao did it as well, and it just so happened that the deflection fell to Morata for the goal, so all's forgiven. But that was also another moment where the winger was like, nah, let me just take this myself. And I think because of the fog, you thought, if I just shoot, it'll go in, anywhere near on target. And obviously that wasn't the case. Right? Yeah. But I don't know. I saw a lot in the chat, and I feel like American becomes a scapegoat for a lot of the people in the chat. And I was like, yes, it wasn't his best game, but I don't think he was dreadful by any means. I don't really think there was a huge flop. He had those weird corners that I could only assume were instructional because he did it every single time, and we've seen his corners are damn near perfect. So I don't know, it's strange, but definitely not his best game. Of them. Yeah,
it was strange because normally they do the opposite thing. Teo can put them in and around the penalty spot, and then Pulisic angles them in near post for a flick, and yet they seem to flip it. So whether they picked something up from watching film, like this is what we can do to catch them by surprise, whatever it wasn't executed brilliantly. But we don't know who to blame on that one. The only half shout that Monza Empoli had was Male's shot from like 20 yards where he crashed the crossbar with it. If that goes in, it certainly reopens the contest because that would have made it 2-1. But it didn't go in, and we won 3-0, and it's just what the doctor ordered. Juve drop points, Ante Rebic, baby, 93rd minute, love that. Lazio lost at Parma, so there was that. Atalanta away at Roma tonight. It should be an Atalanta win, but Ranieri's Roma, you don't know what you're going to get there. And of course, I suppose we should mention now, of course, thoughts and prayers go to Eduardo Bove of Fiorentina, who apparently suffered an epileptic seizure that then became a cardiac arrest on the field during the first half of the game against Inter last night. It was frightening to watch that all unfold. Players in tears. You instantly presume the worst, especially for a club like Fiorentina who've had what they've had with Davide Astori, and we've seen the Eriksen thing and other high-profile incidents of players collapsing. It's just it'll never not be really, really sickening to see. Thankfully, they got out there quickly, gave him medical attention. He went to a nearby hospital, and it sounds like he's up and responsive. That was the latest update. So fantastic, touch wood, that his recovery continues. But that means that they're stuck on the same number of games played as us now because the game was naturally abandoned. So we gained points on them, albeit through those circumstances. But it was an important win. And back to our game, I would say man of the match for me was Reinders. I don't know how anybody could pick any differently. Absolute Rolls Royce player. Showed exactly what he's about in this game. Flop's a more difficult one. To be honest, I can't think of anybody who stank the gaff out.
Who did we even bring
Shaw
on?
had the lowest score on football from the starting 11. So
there you go. It settles it. That's it. I don't even remember who the substitutions were, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Chuck, Loftus-Cheek, and
Pavlovich.
I'm going to say fuck you two and pick Pulisic as the flop. And also special mention for forgotten what I was going to say.
For Musa?
No.
Just go
Musa,
all anti-American.
Musa was whatever. I was going to say somebody. I need to look through the list of players. Oh, yeah, Teo Hernandez. So Teo got like quite a bit of criticism from the media. He got 6 in our ratings, which I thought was about fair. But he played that gorgeous round the defence through ball to Morata, who probably should have buried that, you know. It was a tough jam. It wasn't quite one-on-one, but he probably should have done better. He drew a save. But yeah, like stuff like that is all you can really ask for from Teo when he's having to do a bit more defensive responsibilities type stuff. So yeah,
I've made my pick here. I'm going to read you some stats. Expected assist 0.01.
Maignan.
One touch in the opposition box, 0 tackles, 1 dribble past 1 time, 50% duels, 1 0 aerial duels, 1 2 fouls committed, and all that in only 15 minutes played. I'm going Ruben Loftus ass cheeks.
You hate him.
No, I don't. I actually have his jersey on my wall here. It's just
that's because he was good for like 6 months.
I got it before he even played a game for us. I just liked him at Chelsea.
Yeah, there's something not right with him. You know, like we haven't. Whether it's just he's not gelling with what Fonseca's asking for him. I don't think that he's like we've seen the PSG home game last year. We've seen what he can do when he's on it. And yet he just seems so low on confidence, and like everything he does seems to be so clumsy and not the right thing. It's just not happening for him at the moment. So that's probably a fair
I just don't
pick.
think he's an attacking mid. I don't know why we keep trying to do that. I wonder if Fonseca just saw that he had like 10 goals there for Pioli that one season, which we all know that it had nothing to do with him being attacking mid. It was literally just that one play where Leao cut it up to the top of the box and he's there, you know?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's all it is. I don't know. But the less of that, the better. He could play.
Yeah.
He could do a job in midfield if we let him be a box to box, but we're using him incorrectly.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if like when we have to rotate or whatever, if we might see him on the right side of that front three, you know, like not actually as that, but that's the way that it appears on the lineup. What he actually does is kind of tuck into the midfield, help out by shielding Royale a bit. Maybe you could see something happen there, but at the moment he doesn't have a defined role and it all just looks a bit messy for him. Right, let's move on. Sassuolo at home. Let's make this quick because Atalanta's a bigger game. That being said, we can't take our eyes off the banana skin that this one is. Sassuolo are top of Serie B. They're on an absolute roll. I think they're unbeaten in 8. They might have even won 8 in a row. But they've dished out some hammerings in the last few weeks. They beat Cittadella 6-1. They beat Brescia 5-2. They beat Salernitana, who obviously also recently relegated from Serie A. They beat them 4-0 in the second to last game. They've knocked Lecce out of the cup already in the round before this. So, you know, they're capable of winning against higher opposition. Also, with us having that Friday game against Atalanta, we're going to rotate for this. Sky are already saying that Teo and Maignan are out of the game entirely. Maignan has had a dental operation. And Teo suffered a knock, but it's more precautionary. I mean, I guess he would have been rested anyway, so that's fine. What kind of a team do you pick for this? Are we going to go like a mix of Futuro and stuff, or can you rotate enough to be like Tammy, Chukwueze, you know?
I think that's like what you do.
Yeah, I think you're going to see it. It's tough because this is the team who's been in Serie A every season since 2014, I think, 13-14 season.
2014-15.
It's they're not exactly like a Serie B mainstay. You know, this is still a team that could beat us and has beaten us quite a few times. And given their run of form, given the fact that it's Milan, they're going to be up for it. You know, they know that this is a winnable game for them. And I hope Fonseca recognizes that and that we don't just throw it away for the sake of, I don't know, leaving the competition and not having to play in the cup, because I think that's probably our most winnable competition.
Yeah.
So I would still like to see us play some starters, but also recognizing Atalanta's after, and that's like the most important game of the season thus far. So I would still rest. I think you got to play Leao still. you got to put him in there.
Mhm.
But yeah, maybe Fofana's a yellow card away from suspension. Does that carry into the league, or is it just in the cup?
It's only in the league, so
Okay.
the
So
the
he's fine.
suspensions are.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading. Actually, Sky have given an update in the last few minutes. Here's the team that we're expected to play. It's easier than just speculating. Sportiello in goal. Back four: Calabria, Tomori, Pavlovic, Terracciano. I'm waiting for. I want to see your reactions for this. Fofana, Reinders in midfield. You okay with that?
Yeah,
These
I
two
think
are
it's
going to
the
get
right-
a fucking injury, man, at some point.
I think it's fine. Reinders has
Okay.
proven he could play a shit ton of games in a season, and I think he's the most important player we have right now. So keep it going.
Fine. Chukwueze, RLC, and Leao / Okafor on the left, and then Tammy up front. So that team should win, right?
It's
That
capable.
Yeah.
team's got enough. It's got enough to get past Sassuolo, with all respect to them. I say that. I didn't realize how many players Sassuolo had lost. I was doing the preview earlier, and you expect it. You know, there's an exodus when you get relegated to a lower tier. They had relegation wasn't part of their master plan. They had quite a lot of high earners on their books, but they sold Matthias Henrique to Cruzeiro, Martin Ehrlich went to Bologna, Bayrami went to Rangers, Kyriakopoulos went to Monza. They sold all these guys for like a few million each. Fratese's move was made permanent for 31 mil. They didn't really go on a spending spree to replace them, so they have got a much weaker squad on paper. That being said,
But
they're
Berardi is
full of
still there.
confidence. Berardi's still there. Yes, he
How old
is.
is he now? Is he 32?
He's 30.
30, yeah.
Yeah. He's only scored 1 goal though, but he's gotten 7 assists.
He was out until the start of November with a muscle problem. I think he was out for quite some time, or it might have even been a ligament. I can't remember. But yeah, he's come back. He's doing okay. And
I never like playing Sassuolo.
No, never.
No, none of us do.
Because
part
they're
that
like,
worries-
I
go
feel
ahead.
like they're just like, I don't know, our arch nemesis that never should be, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we drop points every season against them. We all were looking forward to not playing them this year, and then surprise.
Of course.
That was scripted. That was planned. The part that worries me the most is Sportiello. We haven't seen him since he impaled his hand in a hotel room, so I don't know how he's gonna shot stop. Like, obviously, he's saved shots. It's not gonna be the first one since then, but a part of me is like, what if he takes that first hit and he goes like, "Ow, this hurts," and then all of a sudden he's not saving them. You know, his hand's not strong enough. Like,
I presume he's
What
done a
happened
bit of
to,
training.
yeah, like I'm sure he's back, but that's my first thought. Is like, oh,
Where's
no,
Torriani?
gone.
Get Torriani in, man. He was good in
Yeah,
preseason.
because Sportiello is going to be
What
gone
happened to the other
anyways,
left
you know?
back?
Which one?
Jimenez?
Jimenez is going to be in the squad. Him and Batazagi are going to be in the squad. But Bonera, so little aside here, Milan Futura lost 3-0 to Ternana over the weekend.
Shocking.
Ignacio Abate's team. Naturally, it was always going to happen that way. But Bonera subbed off Batazagi and Jimenez quite early during the game. And he got asked after the game, why did you do that? And he was like, I was told, because they've got to join the first team for the cup game. And I just thought to myself, I actually feel a bit sorry for him now. You know, it's like he's just getting orders from above about what team he can play, and you have to take off 2 of your best players because we don't have anyone to fill in.
That sweetens the results a little bit, you know? Like, they don't feel as bad knowing it's like, okay, he's being told to make shitty subs and early so that they could move up and sit on the bench. It's like, okay, it's not entirely his fault. It's not that the kids are just crashing out. It's
Abate did not want any of this bullshit. He did the right thing getting out of there, man. Yeah, they're going for promotion to Nana. It's them versus Pescara in our division. But anyway, yeah. So that's the team. Berardi scored 3 goals against us at San Siro. He scored 4 against Inter at San Siro. I didn't
scored 4 against us as well in the very first game we ever played.
Yeah, that was 2013-14. He got like we sacked, didn't it? The 4-3. Another thing I
went ahead early with a Balotelli goal.
Oh god.
Yeah. We alternated
those early Sassuolo games, man.
We alternated win-loss with Sassuolo for the first 8 games. So, yeah, they were our bogey team, big time. And they always used to score goals in bunches against us. The record switched a little bit, and then we lost 5-2 to them at home in that in the Pioli meltdown winter 2022-23. Is that right? Yeah. And last season we beat them 1-0. Pulisic scored the winner. But
if
then we
Sassuolo just ceased to exist, I would not miss them at all.
Nor would their
I wouldn't bat an
13
eye.
fans.
Yeah.
All right. Contrary to what we've all just said about it being a potential banana skin, I'm going to say that we win, but I don't think we keep clean sheet.
It'll be 3-2.
2-1.
It'll be 2-1.
Mm-hmm. But we're through. That would be good. And then I think we play Roma most likely. But you don't know with them.
Yeah, you never know with Roma.
And then it's looking like Inter in the semis, so we can enjoy our run there. But we haven't won the Coppa Italia. Right? Yeah, we haven't won the Coppa Italia since 2002-03. So forgive me for not saying like we absolutely have to win it. It's not like we got a title to defend or anything like that. But
I think
it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time, and it is a target. We're 3 games away from the final. When every time we start this, we're three rounds away, should I say, from the final. Like, please take it seriously.
The semifinal will be interesting if we qualify. Of course, I don't want to get too far ahead because it's Lazio play Napoli this round, and then Inter play Udinese. So Inter and probably Napoli, and then that's the top 2 teams facing off in the quarters. And then, of course, on the other side, it's only really Juve, Fiorentina, and Atalanta who are, difficult teams. But we definitely are on the harder side of the bracket this year. Doesn't mean it's not.
It makes a change because normally we look at it and we're like, well, we should get to the final, unless we got Inter on our side. But it's always like we should be fine here, and then we never are. Like last year, we got dumped out by Atalanta at home after taking a lead. So yeah, whatever. Move on. Atalanta away. This should be fun. This is, as you said earlier, AJ, the most important game of the season to this point, without a doubt. We need to see how they get on tonight against Roma. It means they'll have a little bit less rest, I suppose. I presume that they don't play in the cup this week, though. No, obviously not. So they have more rest than us.
Oh, no, December 18th is next week. Wow, that's rude.
Yeah, I know. I don't really like that. But they're second in the league anyway, Atalanta. They've got 28
Oh, that's because they played today against Roma.
Yeah, they played today, and then we played them Friday, so they'll have 24 hours more rest than what we do, but whatever. So if they win tonight, they will go 1 point behind Napoli, and they'll be, I guess, outright second. They're currently level on points with Inter and Fiorentina, and also Lazio, who lost, as we mentioned. They've got 9 wins from 13 games. They've drawn 1, lost 3. They've scored 34 goals. That's the highest in the league by a mile, and 16 goals they've let in. We know who the danger men are. CDK. It's the CDK.
Yeah, I don't think we're winning this game, to be honest with you. I'd love to see it. I hope that they've just found their form and their confidence and that we beat Sassuolo and we just continue it, go on a little bit of a run here. But Atalanta's been that team for a while. They're the team that Sassuolo thought they were against us. The difference is Atalanta keep winning. And honestly, there's a possibility they can win the whole damn thing. So I would not be shocked with the loss here.
I think we win.
Nice.
I just have a feeling Musa starts on the right. We do the 5-man in the back again. And I think that's been working out. It hasn't been pretty, but it's been working. And, just continue to get those wins, get the confidence, and the attractive football will follow. So
we haven't won since February of 2023 against Atalanta.
That's
last February.
Ago. That's last year.
So yeah, but I mean,
hey, Jay, it's been decades.
No, but
4 games though.
Is that really 4 games?
Yeah, this will be the 4th game. Yeah.
Did we play them in a cup or something?
We did.
Okay, yeah, we lost them in the quarters.
And in one of those games, we had a 93rd minute red card, which then led to a Luis Muriel 95th minute winner against us. It was 2-2. We ended up losing 3-2.
Was that in December?
It was. And that was after what we thought was a late equalizer by Jovic in the 80th. And then bottled that
Giroud
shit.
scored the first, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so if I offered you a point right now, would you take it?
Yes.
No.
We
don't need a point. We need 3.
100%.
It does feel a bit like that, doesn't it?
It does. We, we can't keep on drawing teams. We need to beat them.
Yeah, we got to keep closing that gap. It still looks pretty daunting at the moment. We've all said about the results over the weekend. You still look at the table and you're like, we've got some work to do.
So there's 6 teams above us. We played all of them except for Atalanta, which obviously we play on Friday. We have 1 win in those, and that's Inter. The rest have been losses or draws. So it's not looking pretty. I would take a draw just because we're struggling against the teams above us. Take anything at this point, I've accepted the fact we're not even going to compete for the title. So now I'm taking what I can to get to that top 3, top 4. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Atalanta's team, I don't know if this is a good one to look at, but I'm looking at their last league game here. Kanaseki in goal, Kosunu, Hien and Taloy, the centre-backs. Belanova and Ruggieri, the wing-backs. Edison and Derun in midfield. Then they played Pasalic behind Retegi and Lukman for this. You got to presume CDK is going to play just because they can, because they want to piss us off. But their bench is actually pretty good. I mean, their bench for this particular game included Zaniolo, Quadrado. Interesting, I don't remember him going there, but whatever. Decatur Lara, Samardzic, Scalvini, Brescianini. I think they might even have a deeper squad than us.
They definitely do.
Yeah.
Taking the fact that Retegi is the league top goal scorer right now, only one above 10. And then Lukman is in 4th with Thuram and Moiskin tied for 2nd, so basically 3rd. It's a little scary on that front. You get to the assist, and CDK is 2nd, Lukman is 3rd. So there's that as well. We know that they're a goal scoring machine, but it's scary. Lukman has the highest average rating player in Serie A this season, according to FOTMob. Retegi has the most goals plus assists. Attack goals per 90 is Retegi. Expected goals on target, Retegi, top of the league. I mean, it's not looking good for us. This is a very strong attacking team. If we could find a way to shut them down defensively, then we're impressive. And probably Musa on the right is the idea for that, I would assume.
Yeah, it's funny. We'd have never have seen that being the case like 3-4 weeks ago, but here we are saying it seems like the natural solution. But I agree, especially with them playing with wing backs. I think we're going to need the help to stifle that. And with that front 3 playing the way that it is, Retegi, Lukman, CDK, good luck to anybody stopping that, let alone a team that lets in as many goals as what we have so far this season. It's going to be a really tough test, this one. I mean, even Edison, Derun, if you look at the stats among midfielders for all the combative stuff, tackles, duels, Warnock, all that kind of stuff, they're right up there. They're a very effective double pivot. I think maybe the back 3 can be got at. With Scalvini not in there, it does look a little bit more suspect, but Hien has been an incredible signing from them. They seem to get the recruitment so right. And yeah, look, I'd rather it. We were talking about this in the chat, weren't we? I'd rather it be Atalanta than Inter, Napoli, or Juve. I don't know any Atalanta fans, but I don't like them. I don't think I should have to like them because they don't like us. However, the way that they've gone and done everything, and the type of football that they play, and their recruitment model and everything, you can kind of look at it and be like, fair play, you're doing a really, really good job.
They've been building a project for the last 5 years.
And Gasparini's hung around when no top team's ever been linked with him, really. Maybe it's an age thing, or maybe they just thought what he's doing at Atalanta is irreplicable elsewhere. He had that stint at Inter.
At another club, so
well, it's allegedly. Before we get demonetized. All right. So our team, I'm guessing we're going with Emerson Musa as that kind of like right-sided thing, whatever. Gabia Chow, Teo, Fofana Reinders, Leao, and Pulisic in behind Morata. I think Morata's movement could be useful in this one, but it would help if he was in the box a little bit more. But we got to shut them down. I think the first goal in this one is massive. If we scored it, we've got something that we can hang on to. If we go behind,
if we score it, our back line is going to be way up high, and there's
we're going to play on the halfway line.
So bad news for that. In the last 3 games against Atalanta, we've scored the opener, and we have not won any of them. So there's that.
I'm wrong. Maybe we need to go behind.
We need to go behind.
That's the answer.
And we need to do Morata as 10, Christian on the right, and Tammy up top. Pull the Inter game again. Just go all out.
Yeah.
It did work well.
I probably wouldn't, to be honest with you. I think I'd be a bit more nervous, but if it works, it works. So whatever. Because it didn't really work the second game we used it, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what
Did
that
we
was.
retry that again?
I think we used it.
I feel like we've done something different every game.
Yeah, well, me too. I also feel that. Let me see what we did.
The game after that we beat Lecce 3-0 though, actually. But then it was like the Champions League game where it didn't work.
It was Morata got injured in that game and had to come off 55 minutes in.
That was it.
But we did use it back to back, and then we
didn't Tammy then also knacker his shoulder or whatever in the. Yeah, that was when he fell into the net, didn't he? So yeah, I guess we couldn't do it for a while, but it never felt sustainable to me. Like we need to alternate those two, not play them together, and then have to chuck Kamada on. Anyway, predictions.
I'm gonna go 3-1 for Atalanta. I think we're taking it
1-0 Milan.
2-0 to Atalanta. I'm not confident for this one. Really hope to be wrong, but it just feels like too big a step for a team that's still figuring a lot out. I'm sorry, everybody. You're gonna say negative or whatever, but wins over Slovan Bratislava and Empoli don't move the needle that much for me. Like I think we need to do it against a better team in a bigger situation, just to prove that we've kind of got over the hill mentally. But we'll see. Can we do one question? Because we got a question that I really like. Sorry, I might ask the other ones in a bonus or whatever. Shizo asks, do you think, worst case scenario, if Milan don't make the top 4/5, whatever gets Champions League this year, we should fire Fonseca? And is there any chance we could get Ancelotti back? He said he might retire at Madrid, but there could be a chance he'd come back to save Milan.
I don't think he'd come back.
I don't think it's saving Milan because you get fired at Madrid. And here's the thing. We fired Pioli to hire a cheaper version. What makes you think we're going to go spend money for Ancelotti?
Yeah.
Let me see what Ancelotti's salary is.
Probably like 6 or 7. Probably 9.
Really?
Probably, to be honest, yeah. Because he was tempted away to Brazil and then stayed at Madrid. So
I thought
he did something.
11.4 mil net per season.
That's unreal. He'd make more than any of our players.
Yeah, by some distance as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course,
Klopp, who's the only other big name available right now. That's not happening. So.
Yeah. No, we're not getting a big name. I don't care. Like
we might get the hometown discount, as they call it. For him and his love for the club and everything. And people think he's really old, like in his 70s.
He's not taking a $9 million pay cut.
We might.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, he's not. We tried to tempt him back multiple times, and he chose fucking Everton. No offense, Maddie, but he chose fucking Everton over coming back to Milan. So
we didn't offer him a contract.
Supposedly, we did back then. We tried, and
I don't think it's ever been anything more than him saying respectfully, "Now's not the time," and then he goes for
because he's not going to take a team that isn't.
You don't want to taint his legacy. I kind of respect it.
I wouldn't want to either.
Look at Sachi. He went back and it was awful. Capello came back as like a ferryman, as they call it, and he was awful. Like it. Sometimes you just shouldn't go back. However, if we go to him and say, do your last 2-3 years with us and just see. But I don't know. It's a romantic possibility. What I'm rooting for is for Fonseca to do well, because that means the team does well, and that means this season isn't a write-off. And that's my closing message.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If we finish even 6th and it's like close to 5th or 5th, close to 4th, whatever, just outside of Champions League, I have a feeling Fonseca stays. I don't think he'll be gone after this season unless we finish like 10th. I just don't see it.
Especially if we get Champions League quarters or something.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get sacked, but finishing outside of Champions League, there is zero excuse for. Unfortunately, I don't think like Fonseca is going to be at fault. I think it's higher than him.
Do we think he uses the same excuse Pioli did to get an extra season and say, like, I didn't get the players I wanted, fire Furlani instead?
Kind of fucks off.
Yeah.
Sell the club.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Maldini-led Invest Corp comes and takes over and brings Ancelotti back with him.
I'd retire.
We'd all retire. Yeah. Let's wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Been a crazy one. Lot to talk about, lot to cover. But I hope you've enjoyed it. It's going to be an equally crazy one next time because there's a lot of games. Too many games, you might say. But yeah, cheers for watching. Been your host, Ollie Fisher. Find me on Twitter at Ollie Fisher. AJ, Maddie.
Bye.
Nice waves. Take care, everyone.
Gol! Ancora Teo! È una meraviglia! Il gol di Teo Hernandez da un'area all'altra! È una meraviglia! Senti il mio cuore!